Hey, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's see here. 1 second. Just 1 second. Hope everybody is fine. Everybody feeling okay? Everybody doing all right? The line of fade is being cut out because that's all I can fit into the GT on this camera here thing. So you're just going to have to wait till I get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. Hey, Jenny. So don't be bugging me. What's on the line of fate? I'll get to it when I get to it. I just can't see it here. So I did a grand tableau today. First bank key. Here's the chart. Did that today. This is good for 1 year. This is his present line. For those of you that are new, this is a grand tableau. This spread right here is an 8x4 plus 4. You can also do a 9x4. I prefer the 8x4 plus 4. This spread is reserved for the Lennies. This specific spread, the 9x4, is Lennies and Kipper. I use the houses, meaning each position is the equivalent of the Lenormand card if the deck was placed in order, so from 1 through 36. So the first house is the house of Rider, house 2 is Clover, house 3 is Ship, house 4 is House, so on and so forth throughout the tableau. Those are always fixed. What changes is when you shuffle the cards and the position of the cards when they land. The reason I use the house system is so that I can do the chain of houses, which you will probably see me do that today. Not sure. We'll see how I'm feeling. Just doing I don't know how long I'm going to be on. It's 8:30 over here on a Friday night. So question of the day, because I got some text messages with people freaking out. Does he win the election? No. No, ma'am. You can't see what's below him. This is his present line. Okay, this is where he's at in the present. So this is right now, June 28th through June 28th of next year. Okay. You have the bear in the house of tree, followed by the cross in the house of child, the sun in the house of mountain, the man in the house of woman, but right underneath him in the line of fate that you can't see is the clouds, and the clouds is landing in the house of anchor. No. Next to that is the crossroads, which would be our elections. That sits on the house of cross. No. Okay. So right here, what you're seeing is some serious financial trouble, and he's not very optimistic about it at all because this is finance. Okay. Also, the bear is also in reference to power. It's difficult for him to get power. He thinks he can overcome the problem here. And the sun is in the house of mountain. So he thinks he can, like, metaphorically climb that mountain, get over the obstacles. He's pretty optimistic about it, but that's a big old fat ass hell no. This is the worst in the Lennies, worse than the coffin. So if we look at him and box him in, besides his present line, financial issues that he's optimistic about, he's having problems with his executives as well, because this is the card of the executive. So not only in the executive office, him trying to get into the executive office, but also executives of industry. Okay. he's having problems with them as well. And could also be in regards to his diet too, because that's food as well. It's sitting in the house of tree. I'm not going to read it as health because the tree is far from him. So it could be about his financial growth or the solidness of his finances. But it's suffering right here. He could be in conversations here with the birds, talking to executives, trying to get some sort of an agreement, ring in the house of bear. Financial agreements, promises that he's making to executives. They're negotiating or talking about it for them to finance him. Nope. Not looking good right there. And this could also be executives with energy. There could also be an executive that has, because of this right here, birds is sitting in the house of, what is this, fox? So talking about work, talking about manipulating stuff, manipulating what's being talked about, manufacturing the narrative, if you will. But this could also be in regards to some sort of social platform that has recently changed. But because here's the social right here that has changed. It's almost like they're how do I say this? It's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? When there's narrative that's being silenced and they're elevating a different narrative. That's what is an agreement, but it comes in a social platform that is could be with little birds, tweets, okay? And there's agreements and promises made there as well. So, but if we box him in, yeah, propaganda, but because this is a propaganda on something that's social, they're elevating something and suppressing something else, manipulating the narrative. Birds in the house of fox. Look at the fox down here. And what's next to it? The snake. They're manipulating the narrative on social media, but it's like they're stopping one sort of thing and elevating the other. Does that make sense, Jen? So I'm thinking like an Elon Musk or something, but what do I know? But right here, an executive with little birds that has written messages, but it's all a lie. And this is in the house of moon. That's your propaganda, your fame. Okay, so that person's in cahoots, but whatever. So around him, let's see here. You got the cross in the, you got the what is this? The book in the house of mountain, sun in the house of, I'm sorry, book in the house of garden, sun in the house of mountain, bouquet in the house of crossroads. Okay, so they're keeping things secret and quiet from the public. And here you go again with social media. This is social media right here. So this would be like a Facebook sort of thing here. Do you see that? If we're being literal, there's the media, there's social, there's a book. So not just Twitter this way. I don't know why Facebook would be showing up, but who knows? So they're keeping things quiet from the public or not letting the public have knowledge. The public has knowledge, but there's no closure and things are being kept from the public. Book in the house of garden, and the garden is sitting right here, right on top of it. So it's kind of like reiterating, if that makes sense. Okay. He's very optimistic and very energetic about overcoming the obstacles and being favored in the elections. The bouquet in the house of crossroads, favored in the elections. That's what he's thinking. That's what's immediately on his mind. Okay. You have the tower in the house of woman, the man in the house of woman, and then the house right here in the house of lilies. You're seeing a very egotistical man, but also a man that is having some legal issues right now around a woman, more than one woman, because it knights over here. So 2 women, or it could be 3. Not sure. This is the whole classified document situation over here. We'll get to that later. But he's very optimistic about it because he's optimistic about the elections because it's almost like he was handed a favor by keeping stuff quiet from the public here. Okay. Now, this is what sits below him. Okay. So right below the tower is the mountain. What's in the courts right now will not be known because it's being delayed. He was successful in delaying everything. Okay. As it comes back around, that doesn't last. His optimism, he starts to say, oh, fuck, oh, shit, because that's not good. This is sitting in the house of anchor, 1 year minimum. This is a lifestyle and persistent problems. Okay. And then the crossroads right underneath it, that sits in the house of cross. Multiple indictments. The elections are very difficult and painful for him. If he's looking for a win, no, because the success here gets cut off. Do you see that when you follow it this way? This way, it has the clouds right underneath it. This is what closes off that box spread, but it's sitting in the house of cross. So that's not good. Another tell, he's got this close, the card of success, but it's quickly followed by clouds right underneath it. So it's kind of like gravity. This goes this way. Okay. When you follow this line here, it gets cut off eventually. Okay. So he's not successful there. And the other 2 celestial bodies are too far away from him. He can't reach it. The card of little winds is too far away. The card to give him access is too far away. It's not near him. Let me see if I can do it this way. Maybe that's better. And with that said, he's not sitting in a good position. All of this is what's on his mind, kind of weighing him down. All of it. The financial trouble, the business trouble, bankruptcy. Here, this would be bankruptcy. You have fish in the house of, what do you call this? The ship. That's commerce and business. This is finance. Abusing the commerce and business, and then eventually closing. News of closure. This way. Okay. Let me see here. Where is I think this is Biden here. I think because this tells me, because of the distance, this is not someone that he trusts, and they're not friends at all. They're enemies. With the mountain right there. What sits in house? Yeah. They're not friends. No loyalty, no friendship, no trust because of the distance between man and dog. Okay. This person, to talk to him, this person is the executive. He has power over this person. And he sits above him. So this is weighing down. So by position of how far it is, and because it sits above him, I would say that this person has power and control. This person is the executive over him, and he only has a little bit of luck. This is a little luck, tiny. Okay. Let's see here. There's going to be a lot of gossip. Again, that's being manipulated. This is sitting in the House of Fox. So manipulation of what is being said verbally. It could also be in social media because it looks like it's done in verbally, but it's written as well. So like a Twitter sort of thing. To manipulate the narrative around, let's look at this box here, that the executive, they need somebody new because of illness. Right there, the coffin in the house of snake, the writer in the house of coffin. Follow this sits in the house of snake. Snake is in the house of moon. Moon is right here in the house of scythe. Boom. Goes back to the dog. Okay. Part of that, if you look right here, because this is sitting in the house of fox. Fox is manipulative, cunning, resourceful, strategic. Okay. The strategy here is for a switcheroo. An opponent to fight that switches. That could be female. Because in this mind, in his mind, he sits on the house of woman. He can overpower the woman. So that's one strategy on how he's trying to manipulate it to try to get Biden out of the picture. He wants to go up against this person. See? They're closer together. This person's too far away. Okay? Closer together. And here he's optimistic that he can win. If that makes sense. So this narrative right here is going to continue. The narrative, the conversations continue, and it's almost like it just sticks. And what's the narrative? The executive is small and short, confused, sits in the house of clouds with an illness. And that's going to be the news. This person needs to leave. This person needs to leave because of the debate arguments. Here, illness, not fit. But keep in mind that conversation, that narrative is being manipulated. It sits in the house of Fox. It could also be in reference to Fox News and all the other platforms and talking heads. He feels more comfortable going against her because her popularity diminishes. Do you see what I'm saying? The dog up here is closer to the garden. This is popularity, society, an abundance of popularity. And he's got two celestials right next to him. Also, if you look here, the lily sits below the dog. They're messing with his integrity and questioning his ethics in regards to what his health. The tree in the house of dog. But you can trace it all back to this. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Okay, good. So we've covered that. And it's him with a team of people that are working on this. Okay, the close entourage. All right. In this next column, we're looking at a lot of losses. And also, no, I wouldn't say illness because the tree is sitting too far. This is looking like endings and losses. And you know what? Since we're so close to July, I'm wondering if I can make this July. I'm wondering if I can make this July. Because it's June 28th. Well, I'll just leave it at June 28th. F it. Right here, the narrative that we're talking, chit chat, gossip, look at that. Losses, continuation, or some sort of a link. If this is the male, then it's manipulated and there's fraud. Sound familiar? It's a continuation, it's a link. This is sitting in the house of ring. So we're also looking at financial agreements and financial promises. Okay, and also clinging to power. The letter in the house of mice, the male is stolen. It could also be in regards to documents that are stolen or missing. And then fraud and manipulation. Okay. There's some sort of news that gets canceled coming in. And it could also be news of new, because this right here, this is showing more indictments. This right here is showing more indictments. But they're looking like they're coming from multiple areas that are more local. So these are not federal, they're more local here, if that makes sense. With the crossroads, this is an action house or action card. It sits in the house of the cross. Okay, so I'm wondering if more swing states are going to indict as well, because this shows an indictment, if that makes sense. But it's at a more local level, and it's local levels that can go left or right, so almost like a swing. Let me see here. This last column, it's almost like he gets cut off in some sort of way because he's lying, and something that he's desiring, it gets taken away from him, and he also becomes infamous or has a reputation, has trouble with his reputation for being a liar. The snake in the house of moon, that's not something that we don't already know. For those that are worried about the independents switching to Trump, this is the card of the entrepreneur. This is an action card. This is an action card. It can leave and return, go back and forth. Okay. There's popularity. Do you see how far he is from this? He doesn't reach it. His popularity to increase and improve is difficult. He's not capable of gaining voters or swinging people to his side. If this is popularity and a rise or an improvement in popularity, no, it's difficult. Okay, those independents are closer to this person here, which is the opponent, by method of near and far. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Hey, Sunflower, how you doing, girl? Oh my gosh, Justin! Oye, ¿cómo va? How are you? I delayed the chat like 30 seconds. So I'm over here just like waiting for y'all to respond. I'm like, answer me! Because I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Hold on. Hey, Sunflower, how you been? I'm sorry I haven't been coming on very frequently outside of Sundays. It's been, well, the last 3 weeks were hell with that, Johnny calls him Cujo, the Cujo dog that I was watching because, dear God. And Braxy's down. Look, I'm going to show you all little Braxy. She's right there. Look, my little baby. She's right there. Braxy. Mommies. Say hi to your friends. All your friends want to say hi to you. Everybody said happy birthday for your birthday. You're a big girl now. You're a big girl now. You're a whole 1 year old. Good baby girl. Sorry, let me try to put this back. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Anita. So, I'm just so damn happy those demon dogs left, man. They done wrecked my damn house. He does, Karin. He does. They have him on anxiety medication, and we were giving it to him because we had to. We absolutely had to. And it was like he would not calm down at all. At all. You know, so he kept attacking Braxy, and Braxy was being pretty good about, you know, just letting him be. Like, she didn't retaliate until one time she got sick and tired of his shit, and she was walking by and he just came out and just started yapping at her and bit her, and she turned around and growled and grabbed him by the neck and pinned him, and he was all ee. I was like, yeah, you got your ass kicked for, because he kept messing with her for like days before she finally just got sick of it, you know. So like, that dog needs a dog behavioralist, and I feel bad because he's a rescue, you know, and I know that, you know, a lot of dogs that are rescue have behavioral issues, but it's like, I told my brother-in-law, I said, you need to do something about that, because, you know, next time you're just going to have to kennel him, because I'm not watching that dog again. There's no way. So I know Gigi, she's getting spoiled like crazy now. I just took her for a long ass walk. We did that walk by the Jenny. We did that walk by the beach, so it was almost 4 miles, and came home, let her rest for a little bit, because after I exercise her, I let her rest for about an hour or so I'm not risking her getting bloat, and she just had dinner, and now she's sleeping. So anyways, let me shut the F up. So let me see here. Okay, let me go back to this line. He is in this line here, so June, July, August, September, and around September, there's news that he is anticipating, because here it says that the news arrives. Okay. News of a loss arrives that gives hope, but it is cut off. Scythe in the house of heart. Okay, so it's like to something that he's really, really wanting, something that he's really desiring. And there you go again with the snake in the house of moon. So there's something else, another loss. Thank you, Karin. Cookies for Braxy. Thank you so much. Braxy, you got a donation for cookies, baby. You want to go to the pet store tomorrow and get cookies? Yeah? That's a good girl. That's a good girl. trying to plan a day with her to where I can take her tomorrow, just her and me. We'll do a different walk tomorrow. Let me see here. If this is in regards to him putting out stuff where he's targeting and everything, like some sort of smear campaign, that's revealed in this column, because it says that the news arrives, dangerous here, and then a lie. Okay. In around October, this would be the card of risk and surprise. Okay. The convention is right here. So I'll look at that in a minute, Jen. In October, they're going to try to do a surprise sort of thing. It's around China. Qian here, but it's a surprise. But it's to smear Biden, but there's something here around China with these two. November, the success and the win goes to this person. See how close they are? The problem that he's having besides, I think you can see it just fine. Besides the strategy that they're talking and negotiating with right now, his entourage is strategizing on how to manipulate, again, with the fake electors, male manipulated, male that's false, alternatives here. Making sense? But besides the strategy that they're meeting about to spin the narrative that Biden needs to step aside because he sees her as an easier opponent, because he thinks he can overpower her, man in the house of woman, he has a problem with an abundance of women in society here. The fish, a lot of something, an abundance. Society, the country, where the house would be more like state by state. This is the country. Woman in the house of tower, the law and woman. Tower in the house of man, man in the house of woman. A man that used the law to overpower women for something that they desired to be taken away, take away access. Mice in the house of key. Key is right here. Follow it up. What are they taking away? Health. What type of health? The moon is in reference to the cycles, menstrual cycles. It sits in the house of scythe, surgeries and contraceptions, anything that's injected or requires surgery, IVFs. Here with the storks, pregnancy. And then they're blocked here. Am I making sense? So women are blocked and they're enemies of him because he used the law to overpower women. Health is taken away. This right here, illness and death. Okay. If we're talking about health with the womb and surgeries and pregnancies and access that was taken away and blocked, the womb, okay, there's Biden, the womb and surgeries, menstrual cycles, woman in the house of tower, women's longevity and women in the law, tower in the house of man. He put that in, followed by the clouds, that's death and illness. Okay. If this is the womb and not only abortions, okay, but also the womb is it's cut. It doesn't work anymore. Does that make sense? So think about the women that are now sterile in parts of the country because they were denied access. There's the access taken away. Access here blocked. Am I making sense? So there's an abundance of female enemies, and not just women alone. There's an abundance of men as well, because the fish is the king of diamonds. Okay. So that he's a legend in his own mind. He does not have this in the bag. They are strategizing. One of the strategies, run the media. This guy needs to get out because he wants to go against. If this is Biden, this would be Kamala, because he sits above her. Does that make sense? So she is in a supportive role to him. But she's not, her popularity does not go up. And he thinks that he can easily beat her because she's followed down here by the mice. Okay? And it's close. This is close enough to her that I don't like it. That's one of the strategies. The other strategy is this stuff right here, which the whip is in the house of house. House is right here in the house of lilies. The whip is something that has a pattern. It repeats. It happens over and over and over and over again. It's abuse. Okay. It's almost like a repeat again with the fake electors from 2020, because here is showing the results, the mail, the ballots, alternatives and multiples, fraud, fake. It's a lie. The results are a lie. As this tableau goes this way and then this way, I would not be surprised if there's this right here is 1 year for this tableau. This tableau says that for the next coming year, from the timeline set from this June till next June of next year, this doesn't let up. It's not like a miracle and oh my gosh, you know, I'm gonna be president. No. However, after that 1 year is over, because it shows a continuation, like it keeps going past the 1 year, I would not be surprised if he gets even more indictments after this year is over, because he pulls the same shit. Right here. Multiple results, alternative results that are manipulated and fake and lied and fraudulent. Okay. And if you follow this line right here, he thinks he has it in the bag. There's the win. There's the access, his desire to be back in government, him back in the White House through manipulation and scheming and lying. That's the plan. That's the strategy. And he really does think that he's going to be successful. The strategy is successful. Fox in the house of sun, sun above him. Sun is in the house of clouds, or sun is in the house of mountain. But the success is delayed. And they think that they're going to have an abundance of delays. But if you follow it again, clouds in the house of anchor. This is a lifestyle. Not just a lifestyle, but it's the anchor is 1 year minimum. That is the end result. That is the goal. And it's just fuckery. Yeah, Jen, indictment 254, probably. Because right here it shows more. They're looking like local. Not federal, but local. There's multiple local areas, and it could also be in regards to one of the places where he resides, because this is 2 properties. Okay. Now, in this whole little column over here, we already talked about him having trouble with women. Jenny was asking about the convention. Correct, Jenny? No international charges for indictments, because there's abroad and it's way over here. No. So you asked about the convention. Okay, so here it is. The garden in the house of whip. The whip is right above it. The stars in the house of clover. The fish in the house of ship. The whip in the house of house. Moon in the house of scythe. The garden, which is the convention, somewhere where there's a large group of people, where you have an audience, in the house of whip. And the what do you call this? The storks in the house of birds, tree in the house of dog, woman in the house of tower, book in the house of garden. A lot of arguing, a shit ton of arguing right there. The success, there's the abundance, a lot of fighting within the party. Whip over the garden, garden in the house of whip. There's a lot of fighting in the in the party. Damage to the damages to reputation and fame, respect. Okay, a lot of fighting in the party, garden in the house of whip, and there's conversations or negotiations or a lot of gossip about we need to change. They need to change the ticket. There's a lot of talk about getting a woman in there in a supporting role. Okay. Tree in the house of dog. Sitting next to the woman in the house of tower. A woman that is a lawyer or she's been in government before who has knowledge of how it all works. These are the independents here. There's a lot of infighting within the actual party because the independents don't go. See, if that's independence and freedom, nope. None. No, sir. And there's also an increase of fighting in regards to wanting to change the nominee that's being kept quiet or is being discussed in private within the party. Let me see here. They're looking at change to be successful here. Success and change. This is something solid for the vice president to be a woman, but they want to elevate this person higher. And if you follow this line to the executive promotion, woman is the answer. And she sits on the house of key, or key sits in the house of book. The book is right next to her in the house of garden. If you follow this line here, it doesn't happen. I'm getting a message right now that there's some ads running for some viewers, so I'm going to just give it a second. I can't control the ads. I think YouTube started pushing those because, no, Deborah, I don't. I guess to counteract ad blockers. So I have no control over the ads that just keep popping up midstream in the middle of a live stream. Okay, and we're back. So that's what the convention moves forward, but it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of infighting. Also, there's a lot of fighting about business and commerce and where the money's going. The fish, money. The ship, commerce. It sits in the house of ship. There's a lot of fighting over where the money's going. See that? And the party here, follow it down. This is the majority in the party. Eventually, it becomes a loss. It's like business and commerce abusing finances. Am I making sense? Because that money is being moved successfully to the family this way. Family and property and the closest entourage. Picking up what I'm putting down? So there's a lot of fighting. I know that he tried a coup over at the RNC and he thinks he has complete control over it. This right here is almost like after all of this is said and done and there's the loss in the election, it's almost like a mutiny this way. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot that are going to fight against the executives. They're fighting over the money because the money moves. Here, it sits in the house of ship. Money is transferred successfully to the family. And it's more than one family here. This right here, it's almost like, this line right here is almost like a mutiny. This, and then this. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, I used the right word. An open rebellion against the proper authority, especially by soldiers or sailors. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a woman here that is trying to get famous because the moon sits over her head. Fame, a star, trying to increase her popularity. Fame, popularity, increase. She gets a lot of criticism though, and a lot of criticism that happens in private. So behind her back. Let me see. What else can I see here? This is about getting guidance for change and moving. This is change as well. I'm telling you, there's storks in the house of birds. They're talking about changing. And not just the gossip that they're manufacturing to try to manipulate and get Kamala Harris as the opponent because he thinks he can overcome her. But also because he gets sentenced before, correct? He's getting sentenced at the state level before the convention. The sentencing it doesn't look extensive. I would say 2 to 3 years, maybe, because if this is the sentencing here, this is a year minimum. Well, this could be lifelong, but this is 1 year minimum, 1 year minimum. So about 2 years, this is double. This is in the house of Cross. It's looking like about 2 years, 2 to 4. It's small though. Here. I don't see isolation right away. He's got a while before there's isolation. About seven months or so before there's isolation for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Because there's a tower. Right now he's at home. See, he goes this way. At home. Trying to get back into the White House, lying, cheating, stealing, committing more crimes because, you know, 88 felony indictments isn't enough. Fuck it. Let's add at least another 200. And it needs to come around this way. And then that's where the shit hits the fan. Also, with all of the delays in the court this way, there's the arguments and the fighting that he has elevated to higher courts to keep stuff out of the public law that's delayed. The line of fate here, the stealing and the thievery, the delays and the obstruction, the trouble that he had or that he did and is trying to run away from opens up here. And then this sits in the house of Cross. More convictions, multiple convictions, and the cross is sitting over his head. Does that make sense? I don't see the sentencing for like another 7 months, and also, or not sentencing, but isolation, if that makes sense. The Eileen Cannon stuff is all right here. Okay. So there's a woman in law. Okay. She sits in the house of Tower. Tower in the house of man, man in the house of woman. Okay. We're back to that again. There's the secret. That was stolen down here. Knight it. Secrets, official, were obstructed and stolen. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? The mice is sitting in the house of Key. Access was taken away. This would be Jack Smith, the special counsel. Okay. Here, she is overturned. The birds over her head, they change. And it's sitting in the house of Child. If this is Jack Smith with the lilies, the special counsel. God damn it, how does this go? If I read it this way, this woman is showing up in December, but it's this whole block. So it's like November through December, January. But before that, it looks like the special counsel is finally committed to having her overturned here. Turning over, changing her. If you look above, it's the broom and whip. There's an argument made in regards to her. Broom and whip is card number 11. The Lennies can be very literal, metaphorical, symbolic, and you can use the numbers as amounts. Okay, so it could be in reference. You follow this line. The arguments to move, because the classified stuff that was official has been delayed. That would be like your 11th circuit. So you see, I'm not messing around. Okay. You follow her this way. If this is Jack Smith's special counsel, she hasn't moved this at all. At all. See, there's the classified stuff. It's just stuck. This is going to sit there in the landfill because she ain't ever going to do it. And it looks like the argument that he makes is in regards to the amount of time that she has taken and lack of decisions. There's also something here that she takes access away from him. She takes access away some shape or form. So it's looking like because she has delayed or continues to delay, doesn't bring the case to trial, Okay. It's like she makes some sort of a decision that takes away Jack Smith or the prosecutor's access to something. Because this is Jack Smith. Access gets taken away. Mice in the house of key. The key is in the house of book. Okay, so I don't know if this is in regards to something that he's requesting to be redacted, and she's like, no, fuck you, and does it anyways. But it's also in regards to the stolen classified documents. Here, key in the house of book, something important that is secret that was open, mice in the house of key and stolen. Okay, here it shows that she gets taken off the case. Removed here. Because right now, and it's also almost like there's bias, because if you follow her this way, woman in the house of tower, tower in the house of man, man in the house of woman, there's offers and gifts to him. Am I making sense? And there's the decision and the choice. That's it's dangerous. And it could be also, if I follow it this way, hold on. If this is in regards to her taking her sweet ass time about the lies here to the FBI agents here, it's almost like, because there's documents that are missing or stolen. This is in the house of mice. Also, in back to this whole section over here, missing and stolen ballots. Mail that is cut up. No. Well, does it mean, okay, if this is Jack Smith, because this is showing two properties with documents that are missing or stolen. But it's like she gets taken off too, though. Because see here, they're taking it gets taken away. They take it away from her. And also, woman, knights over here to the whip. Woman is abusive, critical, fighting, what do you call it? Aggressive, abuses power here. She knights over here to the stars. She's getting some sort of guidance. She knights down here to the clover. She's not taking this seriously. It's a bit of a joke, but she's committed to little small wins. And then she knights here to the man, her, and so she's fighting on his behalf. Okay, fighting, getting guidance and direction, a little bit of a win. She guards him because of position. They're working together. And then she knights over here to the mountain, blocking and delaying. But there's a complaint. And it looks like It looks like it has to do with her taking her time. This has been sitting on her docket for over a year, has it not? Has it not? Can someone tell me how long the classified shit has been sitting on Eileen Cannon's desk? And this would also be her manager. And we heard about that phone call, the couple of phone calls that the two told her to step down, and she was like, go fuck yourself. Well, now this is all in the media. Woman in Moon, this is all in the media. Everybody knows what she's trying to keep secret. It's public. It's in your face, you know. So that's there's plenty of, you know, what is the saying? Optics of impropriety or whatever. But it looks like one of the things has to do with a decision that favors Trump around something that is missing off of documents, or documents themselves that are missing, or trying to redact something off a document, but she favors him. And the amount of time, these are 2 time cards. The amount of time that this case that she has been sitting on, she's been delaying. This sits in the house of fish, an abundance of delays. Does that make sense? And then here it shows she gets overturned and moved. This moves. It eventually moves out of her hands and moves forward. But you need to go this way, and then this way, and then this way. So I would like to see it happen a lot sooner, because you got to go this way and then down this way. So it's still a bit. It's still a bit, you know. So, and also, I know that this traditionally means illness and death. Okay, because the tower has to do with longevity. But because of her performance and how much she's been attracting attention to herself, this is publicity, this is fame, in regards to this case with the classified document stuff that were stolen, and she's been delaying. If you follow this line down, her standing within the court comes into question eventually. So this has been sitting with her since June 9th, 2023. Yeah, no, this is, and also pop quiz time. Who can tell me what this combination right here is? You've seen it before in plenty of Trump grand tableaus. And it's also almost like there's a referral for her to some sort of committee for ethics here. This is a committee. This is some sort of ethics. Okay, gift or an offer. Documents. Jen, this showed up in the very first grand tableau that I did for Trump. The very, very, very first one. The very first one. I broke it up into parts, but it was there. It showed up in the second one. What does Trump have 2 of? As the only president in history. Yep. Ding, 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 ding. There's some sort of a committee, and eventually I would have to do a grand tableau for her, but this is an ethics committee right here because of her behavior, her abusing her power. I don't know what the legal term is. This is abuse of power. an abundance of abuse of power, hostility here, delaying government, blocking government from this right here is security. Okay, like your home security sort of stuff. I don't know what the process is, because I know that she is a federal judge who supposedly has a lifetime appointment. Again, follow this line. She's in the law. This is sitting in the House of Anchor, which would be a lifetime appointment. Her appointment is under question because of growing concerns about her efficacy and bias. Does that make sense? But it's I would have to do one on her. It looks like it goes beyond this tableau, but you might start to hear talk and chit chat about it. But it's around ethics, committee ethics. And her standing in the court long term for a lifetime is questioned. And here it shows that it gets taken away. So I don't know if it goes to some sort of judicial committee where judges sit around and review her kind of like a performance and go, what the fuck has she been doing? You know, and then refer it somewhere to like the Congress, or I don't fucking know. I don't know, but there's an ethics sort of thing. And this knighting here, ethics committee, and then complaints. Also, there could be some reporting about her accepting gifts of money from a party full of conservatives. There's money. There's the party of conservatives. Okay. Commerce here. A lot of trips. Fish in the house of ship. Ship is right here. A lot of trips. Abuse of power. Abusing finances. She suffers here. Woman, knights to cross, suffers, transfers. A little bit of luck and opportunity for Donald Trump and delaying. Is that making sense? Yeah. Oh, and I saw today, I think I read it on Twitter, but now the Supreme Court justices have decided that it's totally cool to bribe public officials. I guess you're going to have to fill me in. Yeah, buy her an RV. Buy her a fucking RV. But she's taken a lot of trips too. A lot trips. Let me shut up because there's another ad. I'm so sorry about these. Thank you, Shelly. Linda, I think she's tried 4 cases and she's fucked up like 3. I think. One, she forgot to swear in the jury. The other one, she forgot to put the not guilty as a choice. And then the other one, she wouldn't let the family members in. Out of 4 cases, she's fucked up 3. No, and what's weird, spiritual Sean, I think I saw it on Midas Touch that she used to be a federal prosecutor. Now, she didn't prosecute any cases, but I think what Ben Mycelis was saying was that she prepared the cases or whatever. Thank you, Julie from Wisconsin, or Julie, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for a snack. Braxy, I'm going to get you another snack with a super chat. So I think that's what Ben Mycelis was saying. I can't quite remember. Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take the baby. She left and I gotta go see what she's doing. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Come on, baby. Oh, I forgot to do the corners. So dog in the house of rider, rider in the house of snake, or rider in the house of coffin, snake in the house of moon, and clover in the house of ring. The news comes in that Biden is sick. It's a lie to damage his reputation and his fame. And it's a risk that he's taking to try to win. Okay? Central to the reading, we have the storks in the house of birds, cross in the house of child, book in the house of garden, sun in the house of mountain. Progress for him is going to be very difficult, very painful. He can't make progress. He can't make gains, okay? Also, convictions because of trying to change or overturn something. All right? And there's going to be pain and punishment that's going to put him under a lot of heat for obstructing and delaying something. Okay, he's also seen as an enemy, the mountain. Okay, these two here, changes that are going to be very painful because those changes are part of a project. The book is a card of knowledge, secrets, and projects. So we could be looking at this right here, knights here to the house, which is the entourage. It also knights here to the mice, which is a team. So you could be looking at the central focus of Project 2025. Okay, because it's a project that makes progress in the country as a whole. Because this is sitting right next to it, the garden. Very difficult and painful for a lot of people. And brings a lot of success to the people that are enemies. Now, for the Supreme Court, I don't see them granting him absolute immunity. What I do see is that the argument gets taken, they push it back to the courts. See, the argument gets returned. There's the project to the courts, and it causes further delay. And then it comes back. It repeats. Does that make sense? When it gets resolved, I don't see them granting him absolute presidential immunity at all. But it's delayed because they kick it back here. Arguments returned or moved back to the project in the courts, and then there's your delay. There's a woman here as well. That's a long-standing judge. So perhaps Chutkin, that's going to have some trouble with this. But either way, regardless of what the Supreme Court does, this delay only causes problems, but it's temporary because it moves eventually. And the convictions increase here. This sits in the House of Cross, increases. Does that make sense? If this is Biden and this is Kamala, okay, the boss here and the supporting woman, the party here needs to elevate the message here about this whole thing in the middle. This entire project that makes progress in this country very difficult, that makes pregnant women that are pregnant suffer, that takes away here freedoms of the many, not just women, but freedoms of the many in the country, affairs. So you're looking at everybody, transgenders, gays, everybody, because this is the card of affairs. It sits in the House of Letter. It gets taken away. he needs to focus on bringing attention to this and blast it and commit to that message. Let me see what else. Yeah, the Supreme Court is fucked. And you know what else Joe Biden needs to do? This is not Joe Biden's grand tableau. I should do one on. Actually, I did do one on him. Kind of like what FDR did when the Supreme Court started fucking with him, and he was like, "All right, I'm just gonna expand the court," and the court backed the fuck up. Biden needs to do that. Okay, Joe Biden's grand tableau is still good till December of this year. Let me see. There was an effort to steal the election from Biden. Here's the election right here. Crossroads in the House of Snake. Lying about the election, delaying it, and stealing it here. Taking it away. Where's Joe Biden? He's right here in the House of Fox. This is December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Wait, is that right? This is December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So we're right here. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. But even if he tries to steal, okay, so he sits close to the mice. The man is a thief, but he's also nervous, okay? The closer the mice is, the greater chance you have of getting something back that has been lost or stolen. In his case, he's trying to steal a win. The clover knights over here to the mice. The mice sits in the house of key. The mice knights to the man. He's trying to steal a win. Okay, ultimately, the stealing here is blocked. And it causes more problems here. Multiple problems. And trouble. And the election is difficult and painful. Sits in the house of cross, crosses up here, followed by the sun. He thinks he can overcome the problems, the delays, the obstacles, and steal it back. Not playing fair, because he knights over here to the mice. He's going to try to steal it again. Okay? And And I mean, he's already this stupid motherfucker, dude. It's like, you got caught already for 2020, dude. You got caught. You're sitting on 88 freaking felony indictments, and you're gonna do it again. You know, with the same fucking playbook, the same exact playbook. Let me see here. Okay, so he Knight's up here talking about increasing or gaining or overturning something. It's in the Storks is in the house of mice, or a house of birds. Conversations, negotiations, phone calls, meetings on how to overturn and change something. He Knight's over here to the birds. Birds is in the house of fox. He's talking about how they're going to manipulate this with fraud. He Knight's over here to mice. How am I going to steal this? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and I can't knight him over it. It's a repeat. Rinse. It's 2020. Rinse, wash, repeat, or wash, rinse, repeat. Same thing. He sits far from the dog. No allies. Untrustworthy because of the distance. Not very many allies here. Okay. His closest entourage are a bunch of manipulators and con people that are liars. So this right here tells me that those closest to him, they bootlick. Up here, they kiss his ass and bootlick, but these people are manipulative and liars. They have their own agenda. So he's just a tool. There's no loyalty to him. See that? He's just a means to an end. Let me see. Let's see here. It's not to enrich themselves, because there's no money cards around here. All the money cards are over here. It's for these people, it's the house is sitting in the house. Looking at the wrong tableau. The house is sitting in the house of lilies. Okay. And the fox is in the house of sun, snake in the house of moon. Okay. Racist, lily white. These are people that have an ideology of white families. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Lily white, very conservative families. Okay. There's no money here at all. So they're just using him because they're self-serving. They're just using him. Follow this because this is sitting in the house of fox. Follow it this way. Social changes. Changes to society based on their views. The house, if this is the entourage of the super white, this knight's over here to the cross. This knight's over here to the, what is this? The ring. Very dogmatic views around children. And it's a small group of people. It's in the house of child. And this right here, a child that is sacrificed in a book. Okay, so, but they change the message here, changing the sacrifice message. So you're looking at the Christian nationalists too. So it's not money, they want to change society to be very dogmatic, where they punish people. And what they consider to be valuable, the ring, is not just agreements and contracts and marriages, but it's also something of value, is power. This sits in the house of bear, clinging to power, using power to punish, harsh punishments. This is pain and punishment here. Okay, so, and then here it knights to the mountain, enemies here. So these are not, and the bear is one. It's one of the club cards. The club cards are the negative cards, including the ring, because agreements can be burdensome. You know, marriages can be difficult. Promises can be difficult. Okay, so the club suits, with the exception of the diamond suits, are kind of like it's a risky suit. It can kind of happen at any time. That's why the coffin card is under there, because you don't know when death's going to come. But because the bear falls under the negative suit of the club cards, this is the card of control. You always look to where the bear's paw is sitting on to see what they're trying to control. Well, they're trying to control through pain and suffering and dogmatic religion, and follow it this way. They don't want society to change. That's not part of their view. So they're trying to use their power to force it on others. See, the bear sits over the cross. Power, and they're forcing this, the pain and suffering. But it's a small group. It sits in the house of child. And the child's up here. I'm telling you, a mouthful of scripture and a heart full of hate. Jenny, anything else I should look at? Again, with the strategy, this person here, news of his illness is a lie to damage his reputation, because he thinks he can claim the win. He knights here to woman. He knights here to mice. He thinks it's easier to steal it from her if they change. Power changes to her, will give him access to steal this way. His line of fate is the mice, the mountain, the clouds, and the what is this? Crossroads. He's fucked, basically. Basically, everything here that he's been delaying, it moves forward. It's delayed here, but then when you follow it this way, it moves forward. And here in the line of fate, the lies, the cheating, the stealing, the corruption, he stole access to things, trying to steal access back into the White House, trying to steal classified documents, the insurrection. Here's the insurrection here. Overturning the fight, overturning the government, and his delay this way. Okay. It's delayed right now, but it's only temporary. It's not delayed forever. So all the court cases, Georgia, January 6th with Judge Chutkin. And there's another one that I'm missing because there's 3 more that he's delayed. Georgia. Yes. Not a violent one, though, Jen. Not a violent one. This one's more silent. It's more silent. So I have Georgia, January 6th, the classified documents. Oh, that's the other one, the classified documents case, because he's already gone through New York. This is delayed. So here's overturning the government, fighting to overturn the government. The classified stuff that was stolen that this woman is helping him to delay. And then there's another one where there's a woman in the law here where he was trying to overthrow the government because he had phone calls, the phone calls that were made. So there's Georgia. That's delayed. Okay. And we're all getting frustrated and pissed off. It moves. This is an action card. Okay. If it would have been like this, I would have said, don't hold your breath. That's not coming anytime soon. But it's this way. So all the shit that he's been delaying, it's going to be a floodgate of fucking problems. Okay. Because here, Mountain is sitting on the fish. Okay. That is an abundance of delays. But that is followed by the clouds in the house of anchor. This is going to be persistent problems for him. And when everything moves forward, there's going to be an abundance of convictions. This sits in the house of cross. And like I said, in this line here, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more indictments, but they're looking like they're coming from more local places where it's more local. And there could also be phone calls and conversations that were made, and it's around alternative electors, falsifications of records that are lies that they manipulated. So, but this is more local. This is not at a federal level. Crossroads is 2 or any multiples of 2. The House is 4. So I don't know if it's 2 or if it's 4 more states that could be bringing in their own indictments because he tried to overturn an election with the false elector scheme that's right here. And he will do it again. Okay, so let me see what states have isn't Arizona indicted all their fake electors, and the AG was saying something about going after Trump too, right? And didn't Michigan do the same thing? I've fucking lost count of all of them. Here's the elections. It knights here to the snake. The snake knights here. You go 2 here and 1 down. If I'm looking at numbers, the snake is number 7. Okay. So 7, that could have gone either way. Think of the crossroads. If they're a semi-tarot equivalent would be your 2 of Pentacles, where it can go either way. Like a seesaw. Okay. Because that's an action card. So I don't know. I'm looking at the numbers. So maybe there's 7 more, or there were 7 total and we're just waiting for the rest. I don't know, but it's more local. It's not on a federal level. Let me see. No, Sean, not 7 as in July. It has nothing to do with July. I'm talking about the 7 states that were swing states. I think there were 7 swing states. I think. I don't remember. Where he tried to steal, where they had alternative ballots, alternative results that were false or manipulated, and false here. And here's your alternatives. Alternative results that were fraudulent and lied about, and people got in trouble for this. There's indictments here. Now, remember I said there's financial trouble here. Okay. That he's optimistic that he's going to be able to just scoot away, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, because he's gambling. If you look at the corners, news that this person is very sick, which is a lie. That's being used as propaganda with the help of the media. Okay, because this sits in the house of Moon. Okay, let me see. News that this person is sick to damage their reputation. It's all a lie, but it's also what was I just lost my train of thought. That's how he's committing to win. That's one way that he's committing to win, because he wants this person out of the picture. He sees this person as the easier target. I already said that. As the easier opponent. He can paint her as a person that's seeking fame and is very ambitious, but her popularity suffers here. She's unable to gain popularity. And she's blocked here. Blocked from the independents. What was I saying though? I lost my train of thought. I just lost my train of thought. The tree is sitting far from him for health. The tree is sitting very far from him for health. Also, if there's anything, it has to do with aging and a lot of confusion and deterioration here. Deterioration and confusion. So, and this right here, the sun getting covered up by the clouds, sun setting. If you want to, go about it that way. In the old Tableau, it showed an increase, progression of age-related health issues that is hereditary from the mom and dad for him. It doesn't show in this Tableau because the tree is too far away from him. Yeah, sundowning. Mm-hmm. Okay, Karin, 7 fake elector states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, New Mexico, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Yep. So there's the elections. And the snake is number 7. Elections fake. Results manipulated. Results that are lies. And the number is 7. So I don't know how many states are left in the whole shenanigan, but it looks like there's a possibility of indictments coming at the state level from multiple states here. I don't know if it's 2 or 4 that are going to come forward with indictments. Because this is 2 or any multiples of 2. House, which would be the state, is not card number 4. I'm not going to look at Putin. And I'm done. I'm tired. So I have the notes. I'll look at it later if anything comes up. But again, power is out of reach. And also bankruptcy and business getting shut down. We already talked about that. There's going to be something else here where he tries to bring up Biden and China, because this is China, that's Biden. And there's Hunter that's ill with an addiction, a powerful addiction, this way. So, you know, he got one of his talking points, you know, because they wanted to fuck with Joe Biden by going after his kid. Well, Hunter Biden got indicted. He's appealing, but they indicted Hunter Biden. But okay, fine, whatever. Hunter Biden is not on the ballot. You know, I mean, he's just trying to level the playing field, you know, so because he's a fucking liar and a crook and a piece of shit, but whatever. You know what, Lisa? I really don't think that at this point, I'm convinced that he puts uppers up his asshole like an enema. Seriously, you know, cocaine enemas or something, Adderall enemas. But I'll try to come on again. I don't know when. We'll see. But I'll try to come on again. Whenever. And we'll see who I'll do next. All right, y'all. I'm done. I am done. So the sentencing next month, small. But it'll be at home at first. I don't see him being isolated until it comes right back around this way. And he'll appeal it too. There's an appeal here to try to delay being isolated. Here, appeal to a higher court to delay. And Ben Meiselas and the other guy, Michael Popak, were talking about the courts in New York. And I think there's 2 appeals courts that he has to go through before he can go to the Supreme Court. So he's got to jump through 2 hoops. One has 5 judges, and then the next one has 20-something judges. He's got to go through both of those before he can appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court. But I don't see it. It's going to be like home confinement, and he'll be fine. He'll be going between the properties, running his fucking mouth. They're going to cut him off from talking though. And if this is like a gag order, what he's talking, there's the order. They're going to gag him again, probably. Because I think Judge Merchan partially lifted his gag order for the debates. But it looks like they can shut him up again. This way and this way. So anyways, thanks for the love to Braxy. I'm gonna go hug and kiss her right now because she's just so damn cute. All right. I'll see you all later. Thanks so much for the I know, right, Jen? I know. I can't wait till he is like in the dustbin of fucking history. You know, and they teach it in schools so that we can, you know, the future generations can learn that, yeah, that shit happened here. You know, none of this rewriting history like the Republicans like to do. You know, so let me get going. Dustbin of hell. Girl, I don't want him down there with me when I'm trying to vacation. Nuh-uh. Jesus, that's your kid. Take him back. So, all right, y'all. Good night. Bye-bye.